He's my partner Said, and I am Ricky, and in today's video we're going to talk about the film Shrek. As you know, Shrek film was produced by DreamWorks in 2001, and it won an Oscar for the Best Animated Film in the same year.
Also, Shrek is based on the children's illustrated book called Shrek, and it's also one of the top 10 best movies animated of all time. Shrek is an ogre who likes to live in his swamp and likes to be lonely. One day, Shrek meets a donkey who speaks a lot. He was trying to escape of the Lord Farquaad soldiers who were sent there to deport all the magic creatures from that land. Looking for refugee, these creatures moved to the Shrek's swamp. So he was trying to look for an answer, and he starts a travel. He starts a journey to start an agreement with Lord Farquaad. The agreement was that Shrek has to find out Lord Farquaad's bride, that was Fiona.
Analyzing the film and reviewing some of the scenes, we got to the agreement that Shrek movie undermines the idealistic of perfection that offer traditional story tales, in particular the ones like Disney. And let me explain you why. To start with, we see that throughout the history appear representations of some of the most beloved characters in classic Disney. For example, Cinderella, Snow White, and Pinocchio. However, the film's anti-Disney representation comes with the behavior of the central characters, which in this case are Fiona and Shrek, particularly Shrek. As we seen in the first scene, he appears wiping his butt with a sheet of paper from a book of story tales. Then he does not wash his hands, and in the next scenes he appears brushing his teeth with slime and farting while taking a bath with pleasure. All of these are the opposite from the superficial and glamorous entrance that Disney heroes and characters come with. However, the only character in Shrek's movie that comes with these characteristics is Lord Farquaad, and he's the most hated character. However, as a good aspect, the film managed to control feelings such as love, and it is seen that Fiona loses the classical Disney princess stereotype and comes to her senses, falling in love with Shrek, even he's not the charming prince that she is waiting for.
In the movie, we can see some really bad aspects, such as Fiona, before knowing that Shrek was a charming prince, she was like really happy to being rescued by this charming prince. However, when she found out that she was an ogre, she was really disappointed. We can relate this attitude with how society can judge people by looks and not by their personality. Finally, this terrible and horrible character called Lord Farquaad is shown as a man that thinks he can do everything he wants, whenever he wants, and wherever he wants to. Why? Because of his power. So we can relate this attitude also with how some people in reality can abuse of his power. And finally, there's some naughty jokes from Shrek. Shrek is a wicked and jolly character, and some people think this is not appropriate for all. We think that the movie is good for everyone, specifically talking about kids. And why? Because of the humor, because of how the characters are presented to us, and whatever. Well, everyone can relate to the characters, everyone can relate to the story that is told, and also the story is hard, and also because the story is heart-touching and funny. And finally, the movie became the highest grossing animated movie of all time.
We will also recommend this movie because it breaks with the social stereotype of how princess and prince need to be. Because Shrek, despite he's an ogre and he likes to be solitary and that he's judged because he's not capable of love, the movie manages that he falls in love with Fiona, and that also Fiona falls in love with Shrek, which is the heart-touching part of the history. But despite of all of this, we got to the agreement that the movie For this video, we'll receive a score of 5 out of 5.